Good morning. I decided to go do this because I had a moment of revelation. And it's about differentiating yourself in the marketplace. The world of business has changed so much. We have the advantage of having technologies. I used to have a notebook and an ink pen back in the day, and I'd write my customers down, and I kept up with my customers in business. Now, that day is past, and we have the advantage of contact management, CRM, customer retention tools, Salesforce, Goldmine, or any of the million proprietary CRM products that are out there. So we're better. All of our customers are there. So sales managers, and even upper management, top tier salespeople work the CRM. And it's true. Inside of the CRM, there are millions of dollars. I don't care what industry you're in, because that's basically everybody that's ever expressed an interest in your product, everybody that has done business with you. You know yourself. You've had 100 different sales practitioners operating under your banner, and probably 50 of them are gone. So all of their, whether it's B2B, B2C, whatever space you're in, all of their customers are still existing in your CRM, but no one's calling them. So how you differentiate yourself is never underestimate the power of relationships. I've had talks with dealers over the years. For 20 years, I spent in the automobile business, and I still have some friends in that space, and I pray that they keep doing well in that space. But there's a frequent pride, particularly now that CRMs have hit the auto industry. There's a bit of pride for the auto dealer, the guy, because this guy's the one that's got $5-6 million of his money tied up, and he will tell you in a second, and sometimes that's way before inventory or floor plan or whatever you got. He'll tell you that those are my customers, and they are. They exist in his CRM. They're in his database. They're in his customer file cabinet. However, if that customer's bought 10 cars from this same salesperson, and when this customer leaves you to go to ABC Motors, guess what? You own the customer file. You own the customer's name. They're in your file cabinet. But all of a sudden, now that salesman said ABC Motors, now that customer is ABC Motors, that company. It goes because in a business setting, you try to, and most businessmen will, try to find the lifetime worth of a customer. And I got to tell you, that's tremendous to have somebody keep coming to you, paying you month after month, year after year. That's the design. I think Peter Drucker said the purpose of business is to create new customers. However, I see that we undervalue the value of the relationship. We're so gleeful over the presence in our CRM, and we lose customer after customer. But when you don't have good sales retention, you typically don't have good customer retention. There's a guy, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone says that the fortune is in the follow-up. So I spent 20 years in the car business, remade myself, went into the copier industry, went into the B2B space for a while. And then I spent the last 13 years in the deaf care industry. One of the things that amazes me is when I first got in, I did a poll just for me. I never told anybody. And I would ask, people that had a previous death for 5 or 6 months. And I would ask, have you heard from your funeral director after they're going to hear sometime they're waiting on death certificates and everything, but after all the business done, have you heard from them? Almost 95% of the people told me they hadn't. Folks, look, I worked with a guy named George Johnson once. He said this: my customers are my friends are my customers. You got to keep following up. I'm not saying you got to hear. People want to know, and I think that's the flaw. And maybe I believe with my skill set, that over the years I might have left millions on the table because I would never become transactional. I always valued the relationship. And maybe that doesn't pay quite as quick. I always share the story of Kent Hallam. Kent's one of the best closers pound for pound I've ever met in my life. And I heard Kent tell a customer, he says, you can skin a cat forever. I mean, you can skin a cat once, but you can shear them forever. So we're making sales, we're seeing impressive numbers hit the board, and we never follow up. So all of the great pride that we had over a great sales year, those people never get called back, and they fall away. And then they go to ABC Motors, ABC Cemetery. Even in the death care industry, there's more pride because they believe that because mama and daddy's there, that it's a given that the kids will come. And 90% of the time, well, vast majority of the time, they might. However, what happens when someone's bold enough, that day comes in that family where somebody makes the decision, look, I'm not going to stay for a subpar relationship just because mom and dad are there. Somebody's going to be the trailblazer and start a new relationship somewhere else. Folks, look, whatever business you're in, B2C, B2B, network marketing, whatever your space is, you have to be, you have to differentiate yourself in the market. Will you just be the next guy? Will you just be the next girl? I'd just be amazed that in the space, I'd see funeral directors sell families a good funeral, sell them horse and carriage for mama, sell them doves, and a million other things. I've seen butterflies, I've seen the whole scope of things, and they never call the family back. How can you have that family when they're at their most vulnerable and you give them the send-off for mama of the ages and you don't follow back up? I followed up, and I've had people over the years say, how do you keep a relationship with a cemetery guy? I don't know if I feel good about a cemetery guy keeping up with me. However, if you want to be great in sales and differentiate yourself in the marketplace, you got to be top of mind. When someone dies, they're going to think of you first. When someone buys a car, when somebody wrecks a car, you need to be top of mind. You need to be part of the discussion. I'm not going to say you win every deal, but you need to be discussed whenever that magic thing that you do, whenever that magic thing that you bring to the marketplace, that you're part of the discussion. If you're part of enough discussions, you're going to differentiate yourself from those who don't follow up and just in the business to be transactional. And that's how you make yourself different in the marketplace. Have an awesome day.